Start with the great name of Allah, who is most kind and most merciful. Hello viewers, I am your host Bhaled Namugeri, student of Business Administration batch 2020 from Sindhu University campus Larkano, and this video is recorded for the basic of final term in critical situation of code 19. This lecture is supervised by Sir Farhan Ali Surayu. Power supply. The power supply, a power supply is an electrical device that supplies electric power to an electrical load. The primary function of a power supply is to convert electric current from the source to the current voltage, current and frequency to power. The load as a result. Power supplies are sometimes referred to as electrical power converters. A power supply unit or a PSU convert means AC to low voltage regulated DC power for the internal components of the computer. Modern computer universally use a switched mode power supplies. Some power supplies have a manual switch for the selecting input voltage, while the other automatically adopt the means voltage. Functions. The desktop computer power supply changes alerting current from a wall socket for a mains electricity to low voltage direct current to operate the processor and the peripheral device. A power supply rail or voltage rail refers to a single voltage provided by the power supply unit or a PSU. Computer power supplies may have a short circuit protection, power overloaded function protect over the circuit protection, our power overloaded protection, our voltage protection, under voltage protection, our current protection, and our temperature protection. This picture is describe the computer power supply. Most modern desktop personal computer power supplies conform to the ATX specification, which includes form factor and voltage tolerance, while an ATX power supply is connected to be a main supply. It always provides 5 volt standby a 5 VSB voltage so that the standby functions on the computer and certain peripherals are powered. Registers. The register used by a CPU are often termed a processor register. Register are the type of computer memory used to quickly accept and transfer data and instructions. They are being used immediately by the CPU. What is a register? A register is one of the small set of data holding place that are a part of computer processor. A register may hold computer instructions, storage address, or any kind of data such as a bit sequence or individual characters. I am going to tell you about registers. Rarely more than 64 registers in a number. Small in size. Typically a register is less than 64 bits in size. Type of register. Memory address register or MAR holds the memory address of the data. Introductions use the accesses data and introductions from a memory during the execution phase of the introduction. It has contain the copy of design to a memory locations specified by the memory address register. Second, memory data registers or MDR. Contains the data to be stored in the computer storage or EGRAM. It acts like a buffer and hold anything that is copied from the memory ready for a processor to use it. MDR holds the information before it goes the decoder. 3. Processor register. A processor register or a CPU register is one of the small set of the data holding places that are a part of the computer processor. A register may be hold introduction, storage, address, or any kind of data. such as a byte, a sequence, or individual characters. Some introductions specify a register as a part of the introductions. This picture is describe the processor registers. A register is basically a storage space for a unit of memory that is used to transfer data for immediate use by the CPU for data processing, also known as a memory register. They can be actually form part of the computer processor as a processor register. This picture is describe the CPU, main memory, and disk device, controllers. The word size of a computer generally indicates the largest integer that can processor in a single introduction, and the size of memory address, which is usually but not necessary the same as the integer size. A main introduction for a word size is how much memory the processor can address. Word size refers to the number of bytes processed by a computer CPU in one go. These days, typically 32 bytes or 64 bytes. That bus size, introduction size, address size are usually multiplies of the word size. Introduction to computer bus. Introduction in the computer bus is a subsystem that transfer data between different components of the computer. Early computer use electrical wire to the connect between components. Today computers use a parallel and better serial connections. What is a computer bus? In the computer bus is the set of physical connection between cables and printed circuits. It is the shared by different hardware components in order to communicate each other. It's reduce the pathway between different components. Sometimes it is called the data highway. Characteristics of a bus. Bus can be characterized by the amount of the information can transfer in the certain period of the time. This expressed in a bit of 32 wire ribbon cable and transmit 32 bit in parallel. Term used with to define transfer rate. It also defined by a frequency that is a number of a packet sent received per second. Transfer speed of bus. It is very easy to find the maximum speed of a transfer rate of bus. Transfer rate of the bus can be find the amount of data can transport in the unit of time and multiplying it by the width and frequency. If a bus with a 16-bit frequency 133 MHz, then transfer rate would be a 16 and 133.160 bits. Type of bus. Each bus generally constitutes of the 15 to the 100 distinct physical lines divided into three types. These are address bus, data bus, and control bus. There are the bus also. These are the universal serial bus, peripheral bus, etc. Address bus. It is sometimes called a memory bus. It transfers the memory address to the processor in which CPU want to access. This is the unidirectional bus. When the processor wants to read or write a memory location, that location is specified in the memory location. Data bus. Data bus. This bus transfer introduction to the processor. It is the high direction bus, means data is electronic signal can transfer in both sides. This is computer subsystem that can transfer data between different components. It is 32, which means in every second up 32-bit data can transfer. Primary buses. Computer systems generally consist of CPU, main memory, and a verifier peripheral component. All buses connection between these components, all buses are called a system bus. These are internal bus and external bus. Control bus. It is also called command bus. It is a transport command and the synchronization signal, those coming from a control unit and going towards hardware and components. This is a high directions bus. It is the transmit and responsible signal also. Internal bus. Internal bus connected all the internal components of the computer such as the CPU, memory, and motherboard. It is also referred to as local bus because they are very much involved in the local device. This is a very fast and independent from the rest of the all system. Its main purpose allows the processor to communicate with RAM. Thanks for watching.